All right, welcome to another Through the Bible episode. I'm going to do like a series on the end of the world. Nah, it's just because it's 2012. There's all that talk and speculation of it. Everybody has somewhat of a fascination with it. But I don't get off into crazy land with it. What I do is just go right off what the Bible says. So it'll be a biblical rendition of what's going to happen. It's really simple, easy to understand stuff. So I'm going to be putting up these teachings on there on the end of the world. One total misconception that some false religions have, and I guess I'm hitting on this one a lot, but the Jehovah's Witnesses. I talked about them in the other video, which I'll be putting up too. The guy that did the pyramidology that said he counted the layers on the pyramid and then predicted the exact day of the end of the world, and of course it didn't happen. Which is interesting too, because if you look at the pyramids, they actually, the ones in the Mayan culture it's a calendar. It's crazy. Each of those steps and foundations represent years, and it goes up. So maybe that's where he got off in this crazy land idea. But long story short, he predicted the end of the year by it. Everybody sold their goods, maybe gave him money, did this and that. And of course, the end of the world didn't come. And we know if someone prophesies something and then it doesn't come to pass, pretty much they're a false prophet, and don't listen to them. I mean, if someone said, "Hey man, give me $10 because I got $1 million coming to my checking account tomorrow and I'll pay you back," you gave them the $10 and then the next day they were broke and had no money, would you give them another 10 and the next day and the next day and the next day? No, you wouldn't. But for some reason, people get deceived into following these false teachers. The Jehovah's Witness is a huge worldwide religion today based on that premise, that original teacher who was false. He doesn't go by the Bible. He goes by a Bible that they wrote, and because they did a whole bunch of twisting of the Bible to make it fit their own belief system, and then when they took this to the scholars and theologians and people that could read the ancient Greek and Hebrew and Chaldee, they said this is completely off base. It's not correct at all. So they got a spirit medium to translate their scriptures for them, and we know the Bible says that nothing to do with spirit mediums and witchcraft. But I say all that to caveat to my next point, which is the Jehovah's Witnesses teach and believe that this world's going to last forever. There's going to be this paradise on earth, and this earth's going to last forever and ever and ever and ever. Some New Age teachings also teach that this world's like we're going to a new age, and this physical earth's going to last forever. Science itself will tell you the sun's going to implode and then explode, everything's going to burn up. The Bible pretty much teaches that God is going to do that at one point in time. I'm not like a fear-mongering teacher, but I think you should dispel incorrect things with correct things. So just letting you know that this world will come to an end. In the book of 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, it says, and I've read this to Jehovah's Witnesses every time they tell me, oh, this physical world's going to last forever. And they also, another false teaching they have is that Jesus is coming back invisibly. He's invisibly here. He said when he comes back, every eye will see him, even they that pierced him. So it's going to be the whole world's going to see it when he returns. But we go to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 through 14. The day of the Lord will come unexpectedly, like a thief in the night. And on that day the sky will vanish with a roar. The elements will melt with intense heat. The elements, this physical world, will melt with intense heat. And the earth and all the works done in it will be seen as they truly are, knowing that on this day all this will come to pass, what sort of people you ought to be, how you should be living faithful, godly lives, waiting hopefully and hastening for the coming of God's day, when the heavens will vanish in flames and the elements will melt away with intense heat. What will happen next, and what we hope for, is what God promised, a new heaven and a new earth where justice reigns. So basically, I'm giving these scriptures to dispel the theory that this world's going to last forever. If you're in the Jehovah's Witnesses, get out of it. It's a complete false religion. Okay, so it says here that heaven and earth will pass away. Another verse, Revelations 21, chapter 1. I'm recording a Bible teaching. Yep. Revelation 21, 1. 21, verse 1. I looked again and could hardly believe my eyes. Everything above me was new. Everything below me was new. Everything around me was new. And the heaven and earth that had been had passed away, and the sea was gone completely. So there's a new heavens and a new earth. Okay, and so we see that in the book of Revelations, there's a new heaven and new earth. And then in Matthew chapter 24, verse 35, he says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but by all means my word shall not pass away. So I say all that to confirm and say, yes, the Bible does teach that the end of the world will come, but it's not going to happen like the false teachers or false prophets say. You know, it's going to happen like a surprise. It's not going to be where you could calculate it to 2012, 09, 12, whatever, right down to the minute when that Mayan calendar runs out. It's not going to happen that way. Christ said, no man knows the day nor the hour except for my Father in heaven. And he also said that if they knew, then they would have set watch and made sure if the person owning the house would have known exactly what time the thief would have broken in, he could have said, at 12:30 in the morning, the thief's going to break in through the window. I'm going to go watch so he doesn't do it. But the thing is, the whole world's going to be captured by surprise. And even more so because God will allow strong delusion to come on them because they rejected the Christ for the Antichrist. So at that time, it's going to be completely on surprise. And if you want to go in detail on it, which I guess I will do in the next teaching, will be Matthew chapter 24, which describes it in detail. So we'll pick up then.